when I hear these inaccuracies, and it's one of those little pet peeves of mine, because I used to work in a library for many years, and
Right.
you get very picky about information, and you have to verify everything. So, and I also know people who worked for newspapers, and they always had to make sure that their facts were verified. So whenever somebody starts to base a whole bunch of stuff on a misremembered thing, one that could be easily verified, like look it up. It was never
Right.
that way. So it's attention about this Mandela effect isn't all this nonsense about misremembering, because to me that's not proof of anything. That's just, misremembering. And to me that sounds like, okay, so you haven't been paying attention and now you are, and you didn't realize it was like this, and now you think it's been changed. And no, it hasn't. You're just more aware than you used to be. But I was interested, and the reason why I began to look it up is because I heard about changes in the human anatomy occurring recently. Claims made by people that our organs have changed positions, our bones are changing, and we're somehow evolving on the inside secretly and being made better. And that and now but then I thought, well, that's interesting. And I thought, well, if that's really so, then we'll start to see evidence of that, like with, autopsies and x-rays. And, I'd say check your own x-ray. I mean, if you're someone who has more than one, look at one from, and see if you have new bones, because now they're claiming you have new parts. And I thought, fascinating, but that will be proven in pictures, photos, x-rays, and the bones themselves. But when they talk about this nonsense of thinking that now we're in a parallel world because we're suddenly paying attention, I'd say, no, you feel like you're in one, but no, it's the same world. I'm not saying there's no parallel world. I'm just saying parallel world is not misremembering things, and I don't think it really works that way. But as for
But
the anatomical changes, time will tell and science will show us. Now, as for, our countries, I don't remember our country being this small. My gosh, the world is changing. Look at the maps are different. Well, no. We now have more accurate ways of creating maps. We now have a more accurate view. It might not be, it's probably still not right, but it's a lot closer than it was, say, when maps were being drawn 200 years ago or even 50 years ago. And even the maps from your high school, your grade school geography class, they're not quite right, but now they're better. It doesn't mean that we did have some drastic things happen because of disasters, but it's not that our countries are shrinking, expanding, stuff. It's because now we have a view of what world actually looks like than we have before, and that's why it looks different. They get redrawn, they get corrected, and it's not a parallel world, and no, we're not changing. But I would say, yeah, we are changing, but I don't think this is that. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe that the Mandela effect is actually a real thing. Simply people becoming more aware, and because they're more aware, it almost seems like they're living in a parallel world. So what do you think?
well, I
There is logic
personally
to this,
believe
right?
there are alternate realities, and I believe
Absolutely.
that there is not always a reasonable reason. I'm going to give the other side, okay?
Okay, all right. Because
Um,
you have a good story about your little trip.
I do. I do. Okay, last week when you and Bill conveniently erased all memory of me telling
We
you
did.
that I was going to be gone, and we're going, Annie, what's wrong?
Well, we were
I, at the
worried.
same time, remember telling you both that I was going to be gone. So
Yeah.
anyway, that whole trip went the same way. It was as if I didn't exist. It, I I was very super sensitive to being on time for my planes. I went there, very organized with my carry on, and I got everything on the plane and got on the plane in time. I have been known to catch a quick McDonald's hamburger and miss a plane on time.
Oh yeah.
Sometimes, anyway, this time I was not that way. We all got on the plane, and the plane went backwards, the plane went forward, and then the pilot said, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry to say this, but you all must get off. We are
Oh
having
dear.
we are having mechanical issues." So we all got off the plane, and we waited and we waited. And by this time I lost the plane to my you know, next point. And that meant that I was in a airport that was going to pretty much all concession stands, everything closed at 5 o'clock. I missed my plane. They gave
Oh
us a
no.
choice. They gave us a choice. We could stay at a hotel, but I thought, no, I'll get comfortable, I'll sleep, and I'll miss my plane. So I decided that I was going to sleep on a couch next to as close as possible to my gate.
Hmm.
I was walking up and down this deserted airline hallway. And up and down, coasting up and down, is this wonderful ebony angel named Mr. Lovelace. And Mr.
Oh.
Lovelace kept saying, "Do you need a blanket to stay warm? It gets awful cold here." And I said, "Yes, I would like a blanket." And he got rolled away and he brought me a blanket. And he saw me writing and he goes, "Would you like me to get you a pen to write down your thoughts?" And I said, "Yes, I would like that." And he rolled away and he brought me back a pen. And I said, "I'm going to leave you a review." And he says, "Lovelace, ma'am. The name is Lovelace." And he coasted away on
Well, how
on his
sweet. Yeah.
and so then I've got my blanket and I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I need to wash my face. Well, a late plane came in, and as I'm washing my face, like 6 or 7 women come trailing into the bathroom, and they are, like women in and out of stalls and stuff. And I'm washing my face, got my soap out there. I'm right next to the hand dryer. And it dawns on me that suddenly my baggage is much lighter. And I'm thinking nothing of it, and I
Uh-oh.
zip it up and I go out and I charge up my cell phone, which is on 1 bar of power, and it dawns on me, I just got ripped off. I don't have a wallet and I don't have ID to get on the next plane.
Oh.
So I'm sitting there freaking out, and there's no one to talk to because that was the last plane, and
Oh no.
so I'm sleeping on this couch, this really uncomfortable couch with my blanket that Mr. Lovelace brought. And I open my eyes, and there's this really perky looking, cute lady and she's got these hippie pants on that are like the old fashioned pajama culottes with the paisleys on it, something I would have worn in the 60s and 70s. And I said, "Well, hello." And she says, "Hi, I saw you sleeping." And she said it seemed like it would be a good place for me to be. And I said, "Well, that's good." And we got to talking, and she was a kindergarten teacher. And she says, "Did you know that the pillows come off of the couch and you can lay them down?" And I said, "No, I didn't." So she lay down and I laid down, and we had our pillows all arranged. And then the next morning, um, I had to go through all but a cavity check, to get on to the plane, with questions. Here's how mind screwed I got. Ma'am, what kind of car do you have? Uh, I have a white Grand Cherokee Ford. Ma'am, there's no such thing as a Grand Cherokee Ford. What? And of course, I think it's a Chrysler. I don't know, something like that. Anyway,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So they finally got. When I said, they said, "Ma'am, are you employed?" And I said, "I'm self-employed, and my business name is Marie Safe Haven." That got me on the plane. So I got to my mom's and everything, but the whole time that I'm walking around and I had no ID, and Mr. Lovelace is running back and forth on his little cart, I'm thinking, is he an angel? And did that plane crash? And am I really dead? I did. I went through that,
Yeah.
and I told my sister that, and she goes, "Oh, that's weird." And I said, "Yeah, but when
Yeah.
you think about it, what are
Well,
you gonna?"
it seems very dreamlike once you get off that plane, and it's very, very weird. Um, the helpful person in the great
Mr.
room
Lovelace.
that
And
you're
what a
in,
name.
because yeah,
Lovelace.
and I yeah
Lovelace.
yeah yeah. Um, that reminds me of so many dreams I've had where I had a dream that I was having a reunion with somebody who had passed away, and it's always
Mm.
in a situation that seems like that, where it's like none of the stuff it matters. I mean, it's like, oh, you mean things like your wallet, your ID, your driver's license, and your possessions, and it's like all of a sudden, no, it's just you. And it's weird because you don't really feel like you're a part of the world. And that was the feeling I always had when I had these dreams. I used to think, I'm convinced that there's a connection made there, that it wasn't just a dream because it would come out of the blue. I wasn't even thinking about them. And it was just something that, but the settings were the same. And that whole feeling you have where you're totally disconnected and you think, so I think if it happened to me like it did to you in reality, I would definitely be freaking out because I know that feeling. I felt it when I was in that, what I like to call the
Oh, you.
intermediate world where we allow next to people. Just like
Mhm.
they can't get here and you can't get there, but there is that meeting ground, and there's always something about it that makes that you know it when you have one of these. It's very difficult to explain, but it's a feeling you have deep down inside. It's very odd, and that's what sets them apart.
What
And
was
your
odd to me,
experience
Joseph? What was odd to me, Joseph, is I kept thinking,
is much
this
like what it
is
means to dream.
yeah. But what's odd to me is I kept thinking, this is kind of the way I imagine it would be when I die.
Yeah, like yeah,
Your identity is gone. You're
yeah, it is,
one
and it
by
is.
one, the securities to the world are gone. Your ID,
Yeah,
your money, nothing. And do you know what it's like to walk hungry for 24 hours and you can't buy food, you can't buy water, you can't even buy, nothing, to just walk around in a busy airport and know
right.
that you don't have money to buy the simplest small things. It's
Our
like,
most basic
whoa.
day, our most basic typical day is completely taken for granted. You know,
Oh God,
um,
yes.
you know.
I know. And it
so
also
just
makes you think
picture
about
now,
the
picture now
homeless.
being, picture that happening in a foreign country.
Oh God.
You
Mm-mm.
know, and picture actually. So when I hear of like the children, the refugee children,
Oh,
and the extreme terror. Now take what you felt,
and
okay, but now
amplify it.
you're, yeah, and then change the equation a little bit, and now all that, and then you kind of have a teeny little bit of a taste of that fear, because actually what they feel is much worse, at that
Oh
point,
God.
because they're in another
Well,
country, and of
the
course they
only
react like they're,
the only thing
invading
I
it.
can the one thing I can think of though is that a child is completely free form.
Yeah,
You know,
but they also
you
have
had
they have even less control though of the situation than you do
right.
though.
as an
Right.
adult. I mean, you have very little control over what's going on, but a child's going to be really scared and terrified because they have no experience. They've only been on the planet for a few years. I mean, they
Yeah.
really, you know, and they're out of
Yeah.
their element all of a sudden, and they're terrified.
And you know
You
what
know.
was strange, Joe? When I got on through the second check off, I ended up with this wonderful check-in lady because I'd been sleepless thinking, oh no, I have to go through this all again, but this time I got
Another
money.
angel.
I got money, but I still have to
Yeah.
go through the yes, I am Annie O'Dell. Yes, I'm
Mm.
sitting there thinking all of this, but I'm also um, thinking I'm in a smaller airport than the other.
Yeah.
Actually, Omaha is very small, but this one was
Hmm.
smaller yet, and it was like um, the lady that checked me in. She kept saying, "Honey, gonna be okay. You're gonna be all right." The Omaha
Oh,
airport, the Omaha airport was completely cold. They do treat you as if you are a terrorist.
well, it's
You
too
know,
big, it's too big, it's too major, and they're too busy, and they're it's a lot different when things get smaller. You get a little more personal, more personal treatment. People actually notice that you're there, and in places where it's a little smaller, and they can give you more attention. And I know that people will argue, well, those smaller places don't have the security and their targets. It's like, well, actually,
oh,
if
they
they're
do.
smaller, they're less of a target because no one really cares about. It doesn't, it's not a showy place. You know what I'm
Well,
saying?
the thing about
Yeah,
the thing about the Omaha airport is a military base. And
yeah.
so it's also where Bush went down when 911 went. There's a military base right close to there where
Oh, yeah.
an underground. So Omaha is more than just the small airport. It's
Right, but
also a military base. And so
they're
more
pretty secure. Yeah, they're not worried. It doesn't take that. They're more. They're actually used to that because of their
yeah.
position. Yeah.
Anyway,
Uh, but that's
so
a weird experience, Anne Marie. That really is. That is a very odd experience. But I would say that's probably closer to what I would have thought the Mandela effect would have been. Like
right,
something really
right.
totally odd happening like that, and then or something that you can look at tangibly and say, yeah, it is changed.
Well,
Look at
to me,
something you can compare it to. But when someone is saying, I don't remember it that way, that's not everything on that list that's misremembered to me. That is the bulk of what I would find on this phenomena, so-called phenomena, is this misremembrance, and I find very little written about anything else. It's like it's an add-on, like, oh yeah, and your bodies are changing too. It's like, yeah, we're the, you
right,
know, and what you get are these computer illustrations. I'm like, well, he drew this, so come on, I just.
right, right.
But
Well, what
situations like yours, it's like you walked into a time warp and you felt like you were actually like, did I die? And
Well,
that
that's
must
what
be an odd, yeah.
I've always asked myself, what is it like to be dead? And I kept
I don't
thinking,
ask that.
well, I'm not ask what it's like to be dead, but I wondered if maybe in some odd way I got a taste of what it's going to be like to release from this earth. But it wasn't
Yeah,
awful. It was just an identity leaving you and
right.
feeling that all things that are a part of your reality are slowly but surely being left. And I always wonder, when you die, do you really know that you have slipped into another dimension? Or do you just kind of go
Pick
into
up
an ex- and
and
move
and
on?
do you just simply pick up with a life elsewhere like it's every other
Elsewhere.
day you've ever experienced? And is it just seem like
Right,
gee, I had an odd dream last night?
right, right. I think, and that's kind of how I felt. The good part was I got put on
Yeah.
first class. First time I've ever been in first class on the plane. And so when I took off to go home, they said,
Wow.
Ann Odell, please come up to the desk. And I thought, oh shit, they're gonna make me go through another identification. And
No,
he
they're gonna
says,
charge you for the first
yeah,
class.
yeah. And so they handed me the ticket, and I thought, okay, no big deal. I don't know what this is about. Got on the plane. I assumed it was the second exit or the second transit ticket. Went in the middle of the hallway or the aisle, sat down, and they said, "Honey, that's my seat. You better get up." And the lady says, "Oh no, you're the fourth seat up in first class." And I
Hmm.
thought, what? They gave me little hot napkins. I
Oh,
got to have
you had more
dinner.
room too, right? Didn't you? You had more
Oh, you
room.
move your
Yeah,
feet. They gave you
yeah.
a blanket again. I got another blanket.
I
Anyway,
think you
we've
get
got,
cookies too, aren't or something. I
yeah,
don't
I
know.
did get cookies. I did get cookies.
Yeah.
Um, Lena, Anita, and Renee are waiting for readings.
Okay.
We want to tell everybody, please do remember that you can call into our show, which is 602-666-6027, or InQuick us. Hey, so easy. Just InQuick
Yeah.
us a question, and we can answer it just on uh, so easy. So
Oh
all you
yeah.
have to do is give your name and shoot a question at us. Okay, I'm going to go with Lena, and I'm going to let you read on that. Lena,
All right.
how are you today?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Great. You
Sound
sound
good.
like you're on a plane.
Yeah, you do. I should turn you up a bit here. There you
Uh,
go.
I'm I'm actually driving, but if I'm not holding anything, you're on Bluetooth.
Ah.
So cool. What do you have for Joe?
I'm currently in a temp job, and I'm counting my blessings that I have it. But I feel like I'm going through a Mandela effect because I don't buy it. Sounds too good to be true. So I just want to
Uh-huh.
know what's the feeling you get from this job. I guess if it's going to become permanent.
Okay. Well, I would say, I drew the Nine of Pentacles for the current day here, to reflect what's going on and what is it about it that seems too good to be true. Actually, though, it is very good, and actually, in terms of monetary things, like your money and material possessions, and yeah, it's everything's fine with that. However, um, in effect, you might even make more money. I do see something possibly even more unexpected coming towards you in terms of money. I'm not talking about a big prize. I'm talking about stuff you're going to earn or possibly acquire by other means that are more normal than, say, winning a ticket someplace. But I do see that your investments are they should be working well. I mean, I don't see any problems here. So I would say the only thing that you are cautioned about is that you should try to follow your own gut instincts and your own knowledge. If you know better, don't get talked into something that you're not sure about. Always check out, if somebody has an idea for you, an investment, they want you to put up some money. That's the only warning I see with the money is that you should watch out for stuff like that and always use traditional wisdom when it comes to investing money. I mean, go through your bank and don't do anything risky you know. I do see that in your future, though, we have the devil, and he's upside down, and actually, you might be pushed into being more aggressive down the line, with the job. See, it's starting out kind of sweet, but I do see that you're going to be pulled in a way that you're going to have to get. You're going to have. It's kind of a place where you really can't deal with them in the same way that you would deal with any other place. You start to get a little bit underhanded, and you might want to consider that, not to let it, not to get involved with any of that stuff if you see it, and you'll be fine because you will have a better, or should have a better understanding of yourself, and what's unacceptable, right? And even if people tell you something is acceptable, you know how you feel about it, and that's important, and I say you go with that. Go with your gut feeling and you'll be fine.
I like that.
Yeah, great.
Okay.
Because you just had a good balance in the past. So I see it. You will always have that good balance in knowing. So, but don't ignore your own instincts. Okay. Okay. Go on.
Okay. Go on. Okay.
Now it's your
So,
face on
um,
this. There you go.
Lena, that's from the ex-librarian, Lena, Lena,
That's
who
the
was
ex-librarian.
no BS and straightforward. Lena, if I look at where are you energetically with this job at this time, what comes through says the following. It says, be honest with yourself. You've been fair. You've been walking your talk, and so you deserve honesty into your life, and you deserve to have a good job in your life. Why is it that you don't trust that? Your reading says detach from this. Detach from this sense that you don't deserve this or it's not real. But also it says, remember, like attracts like. If you want this to work, if you want to go in this and make it something that's real, you have to come off with trust. And that way you will not be bouncing some crazy energy that, like Anne-Marie at the airport, you're going, what the hell is going on? You want to walk in there like you own the place. Walk in like you've got a fan blowing on a scarf behind your head, billowing. This is a job for you. You deserve it. Trust it. Detach from the paranoia. It isn't real. And remember, like attracts like. So if you want, you can make this totally say bye-bye just by believing it's not going to go anywhere, believing that it's not real, and believing that you can't trust your own life situation. Now, if I look at this in a little more detail, is this job going to be something that in the long run benefits you? And what comes through says, and remember, all things are possible and the future is changeable according to your wise actions. What I have in a 3-card reading says, absolutely, this is a great job, but no, you're not going to be at it a long time. It says for the next 2 months and possibly either up to, and I have 10, which could be 10 weeks or 10 months or October, which is the 10th month. There is a feeling this job's just exactly what you need right now. But I also show the good part about it is that it may lead you to a higher stature of something you want more of, or you may meet a connection in this job that leads you to even something better. No matter what, this is a bridge job. Certain things in our life are bridges that get us over a hump. And I believe this is a bridge job to get you to something better. And that's what I see.
Yeah, it's one of those things
Okay.
like you can't really stay, or you could, but like I said, if you could, find yourself being faced with all these weird things popping up, and you might find yourself getting involved in some of the scheming, and I'd say no, stay out of it. And in the meantime, I'd say use the job. Really, take advantage of it. If there's any education that comes your way that's free, any skills any training, and all that stuff is going to be really useful. And it's like that's preparing you. But I'd say it's like it's sort of like going to school. It's not intended to stay. You're not intended to live there, and it's like the summer cabin. You're not intended to live there throughout. It's temporary. But I'd say it should be pretty good for now anyway, and I'd say enjoy it and use it and gain as much as you could and be prepared, you know.
To cross the bridge
Yeah.
and find something better at the other end. Okay?
Hmm.
Thank you, guys.
Oh,
You're
you're
welcome.
welcome.
We have Sarah in the Inquick from NM, New Hampshire. No, what is that? NM.
Sarah.
What is NM?
New
The state.
New Mex.
New
It's New
New
Mexico.
Mexico. Okay. And Sarah says, hello, Anne-Marie and Joseph. If time allows, I would like an update on my finances in the near future. Do you see a good chance of an increase in the next 6 months or so? Many thanks and blessings to you both.
Hmm. Well, actually, you're being advised in the near future to listen to the advice of people in the know and who are successful at what they know. You know, don't listen to anyone's ideas if they haven't done it and if they haven't succeeded. Um, but I'm talking you. It is suggested by the upside down hermit that you need you, you need to follow somebody who has a light, and that would be somebody that would be depicted as a lantern holder, a man holding a lantern. Um, Stay away from the bad advice, and the stuff is to stick with the reliable stuff that's been known to be reliable for a long time. And if you're going to get advice, make sure it's professional, expert advice. Stay away from everything else. I do see with the Five of Swords at the present time, I know it looks to me that, yeah, you're thinking about your self-preservation, and I can't blame you, and there's nothing wrong with that. And you have to, it's a reminder for you to look out for yourself, including your work life and including your livelihood and your health. Look out for yourself. Otherwise, you won't be able to do for others like you always enjoy doing. You do a lot for other people, but you're not going to be anyone's good if you wear yourself out in the process. You got to take some time for yourself. And that way, you'll be able to help somebody, and you'll be in a better position to do so without hurting your own resources. So maintain. It looks like that's a good idea, and it looks like you are trying to do that. And the cards say, yeah, you should do that, and you're doing the right thing. Okay, Anne Marie, what do you think about that?
I think that's good advice. And if I look at a 5-month prediction, Sarah, for you, August is seen as the month of take your bitch pill. And that's basically saying be tough, don't do anything over extravagant, tune out of your emotional spending, tune out of your emotional, uh, self sabotage. That will help your finances get through this month. September is seen as the month of the lovers, which could also indicate financially that that is a good month for you. Money seems to be flowing your way in a pretty good way. And it also might be one of those months where if you do spend money, let it be with a friend or let it be with a sister or somebody that you love, and make sure that um, spend wisely. But maybe that's a good month to have a good outing and spend some money with someone you care about. October, good good stability seen in October. November, finances look good. No problem, no disappointment. And December is seen as the month to really invest and dig in deep if you're going to be disciplined about your finances. I would say that maybe that's a good month to make a larger purchase where you think that you can strategically swing a larger purchase like a car or something for your house, and that December as a Christmas present to yourself, that's a good month to invest in a larger purchase. And that's what I see.
Yeah. Yeah, avoid the snap decisions and hasty decisions, though, regarding finances and money, really. You know,
Mm,
like I said, all of Anne Marie's things, the cards seem to be saying, yeah, make it sensible, and you'll be fine, you know.
mm. All
Stay
right,
with
we
people
have.
that you can trust.
All right. Don't get your wallet stolen. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
and don't wash your face next to hand dryers. Anita from Michigan. Hello. How are you?
Hi. I kind of have a multiple questions here. I don't know which one to go to.
One is allowed.
Right. Okay. I have a question. I know this person named David. Is he been stalking me, and has he been stalking me in my hometown as well as other areas?
Okay. That's a pretty important question.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have other ones that are really important. So
Well,
guess
I
that's
would
one
say
I'm
that I drew the wheel of fortune and I drew it upside down. And that does indicate, actually, it does indicate that others are working against you or possibly plotting in some way. Now, this is probably it's not some it's this could also be a feeling from you. It is also a reflection of maybe what you are feeling as well. But I do see that something it does indicate that something from the past is attacking you now on some level, either just by emotionally or either by maybe it's sort of like now he's got you thinking that he might be after you, stuff like that, you know. So it does indicate that that if you know, but you know, if it is something that you feel is serious, of course, you know, there are steps you can take, legal steps you can take if you have, but you know, they always ask for some sort of evidence, you know, I suppose. I don't know how it works. But the card does show that there is somebody who is trying to either see you or maybe even sabotage you in some way. It may be as something somebody talking shit about you behind your back. You know what I'm saying? So it could vary from simply
there's
that to full out stalking or maybe manipulation of information about you and all sorts of nonsense they might do. But it does show that this is something that's there, hon. It does show that this person is somebody that you want to try to keep away from. It does show
is
that
it
you're better
another?
off keeping away. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
either it's Danny or David. I didn't
Well,
know.
it'll either
I
cause
took David.
emotional distress or just simply a situation that you just can do without, you know. So yeah, you're best to try to avoid it. And actually, you know, sometimes a big change helps, you know, but you know, you shouldn't have to do it for that, you know. But I mean, it will probably be less and less over time, you know. But I do see at the present time, yeah, you are correct. There is something going on there, but it doesn't
Yeah, I
tell
didn't know
how
if they were both
serious. Yeah.
right. Danny and David were in cahoots with something, or if it's just David.
Well, that
So
doesn't
I don't
show,
know.
but it does show that more than one person when it has something to do with it. I wouldn't say it's just one person. I'd say maybe there's a few people who might feel like vengeful or vindictive, you know. It's best to stay away from them, you know, is what it is, you know. If you
Lena,
see them come first, that's a good thing.
Lena, give me the first. Please give me the first name again. I'm just going to give you straightforward 3 card readings on each of these guys. So say the first name,
David
David. If I look at
and
David,
and
no,
then
no, 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 no,
okay,
no, just the first name at a time. Looking at
David.
David, okay. So if I look at David and I look at, is David stalking you, and if so, why? And if I look at that, it says he does seem to be keeping an eye on you. He's very focused on you. And he didn't feel like he got a fair shot in the past. And it says that he's being very bold. He doesn't fear you rejecting him. And he's going to do what it takes to be aggressive to try to get his chance to be with you or to go out with you or do whatever he felt didn't get to happen in the past. What's the next name?
Danny.
And if I look at Danny, what comes up on Danny says Same exact thing. Um, you must have I don't want to say you led people on, but there seems to be a feeling or an indication that you kind of maybe teased some people into thinking that there was something that wasn't. And my feeling is
Real
now
bad breaker-upper.
you're gonna have to pay the price. Same thing. He felt like he didn't get the opportunity, the shot that he thought you were projecting he was going to get. So he too is very focused on you. He too is being, somewhat aggressive about getting the chance that to go out with you or be with you that he feels you led him on that he didn't get. That's what happened. Both are the same thing.
Oh
Evidently,
my.
in some way, you led these guys on to believe something that didn't happen, and
Well, aren't
maybe
you a
you didn't.
heartbreaker?
Yeah, heartbreaker, and 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 maybe you didn't even know you were doing it. Maybe
Yeah.
it's just a flirtatious side of yourself, or a coy part of yourself that makes guys feel needed and they thought that they got something back in return for their endeavors, but it just seems like they aren't fulfilled and they want to see where this can go. So I don't think they're going to hurt you, but I would say they may pursue you. Okay? So we'll leave it at that.
Yeah, it might be a
Okay.
passive-aggressive thing where they don't actually, you know.
And I would say watch out for coming off like you want to more when really you don't, or watch out for asking for things from guys that think they're going to get something in return and then they don't. You may
Yeah,
find that you accidentally led them on without you knowing it, or maybe you
yeah.
did know it. I don't know, but Anita, I would say cut it out. Okay.
Cut it out. The poor
All
thing
right,
might not
honey.
even realize she's doing it, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah. Okay.
I
you
was
don't
very,
believe it now.
I told him I didn't, yeah. I told him I didn't want to get in a relationship right now. I couldn't for my medical reasons. And I said, I only want friendship. And
Right.
I don't know. Maybe it's
Well,
like, don't look at the white money. Huh?
you know what? Guys always want, or I should say, lovers always want what they can't have. It's the
Right.
ones that cling on and can't let go that people don't want that person. They want the
Try
one
to
that,
find, if you want
uh,
male friends, try to find the kind that wouldn't be thinking about moving further with the friendship, you know. Somebody who,
Mm-hmm.
you know, apparently you are, I'm assuming, and I'm sure you're very attractive, you know, so that's probably one of the things, one of the detriments is sometimes, you know, when the men help attractive women, they're hoping for more on that. So
or maybe she has a childlike,
maybe you should have more gay friends.
yeah. Look for gay friends and look
Look
for
for
and
gay
maybe
male friends.
or or perhaps maybe you have a vulnerable side that without even knowing it your eyes are saying take care of me, but you don't really want it, but for some reason it's a learned craft. Maybe mama taught you it or maybe it's just natural, but these guys seem to want to be able to follow through with taking care of you. So I would say maybe you need to change the way you come off. Okay, we got to go. I've got Gwen in the chat room, and Gwen wants a small, I'm going to say 3-card general reading. If you could do so, please, Joseph.
Okay. When? Well, I am seeing in the past. Oh, there was in the past you hit. It seems like you had a man that you were close to back then. In a recent past, and this is somebody who, oh, you know, somebody who was kind of a wild boar in a china shop, just really kind of erratic and mood swings. But that's part of the past. I am seeing that that's an influence now. And if this person in your life as the focus, that's moving out. And actually, this card shows that as the recent past or a continuing influence. But I do see that at the current time, I would say that your magnetism is at its all-time high. You're just wonderful here. We have the sun as your current present time, and that is a wonderful blend of contentment and just really a wonderful, great way of being in the world. It is. All ventures at this time should be really fun and delightful for you on this level. It really should be. And in the near future, I would say, we drew the Page of Pentacles. So I'd say there's going to be a young man coming around, or he'll be taking up your attention for a little bit of time there in the near future. He's a bit self-involved, kind of immature, perhaps, youthful. Um, Kind of makes rash decisions, so he'll need your attention because you're going to have to kind of keep an eye on this person. Uh, no matter how you know them, they're going to be someone that you got to kind of be on guard with because they always do these weird things that without thinking, like I thought it was a good idea. So that's someone that's going to be taking up some of your attention in the near future, down the road. I'd say maybe probably later on in the year, as this year, or possibly with the new year, or as we get into next spring, this person you're gonna know who he is. You're going to know. But he's a young man, and this is somebody who really has great traits, but just at this time, it's going to be it's all over the road, and so he'll probably need you, you know, for just to be organized, and it might be somebody younger that you know. But that's what I see. But I see, for the time being, I see everything great. And actually, there's no reason why it's not going to be great in the future. It's just that in the future, there will be this other person who might need more attention. That's what I see. So that's it.
I was trying to type that in the chat as quickly as you were saying it.
Oh. I was trying to
Okay.
talk faster and faster because I see the clock moving here. So.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to shoot off straight to Renee because we only have 4 minutes.
Okay, go ahead then. Yeah.
Hello, Renee. How are you?
Hi to both of you. Don't bring up what we talked about 2 weeks ago because they all turn me down. See what you get now. There's something could be coming that could make a major difference. Go ahead.
All readings are new and fresh. We don't go back to the past. So what is it you want us? You just want a 3-card reading on what is around you at this time? Is that it?
Yeah, what can be coming that can help me get well and get back to normal?
Boy, that's what it always stifles us, honey. We can't help you get well.
I'm not asking for medical. I already know what I have to do medically.
Okay.
I'm talking about other stuff, what you see coming.
Okay.
Well, I do see at the current time, the Two of Wands does tell you to move on your decisions and to act decisively on an idea that you have. I do see that new creative ideas are required for whatever it is you need, and that's the closest I can get to telling you about your health. And this is a card that recommends that you be courageous. And I do see that this particular present time, you should be feeling or are about to feel more of a growth in your own power and your own ability to make a decision. And so that card does encourage you to go forward on your well-founded idea. You are being told to avoid bad advice.
Sorry about that.
I don't know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. Joseph, you're glitching.
I do see that.
You're. We lost you. Your voice.
Dear. You can't hear me now.
No. I don't know what's going on.
Okay. Well. Okay.
I'll go in because we have 1 minute.
Yeah,
okay. It says 4 things. I heard you laugh. 4 things come up that you need to work on. One, your attitude. Understand that when you attract success and positive people into your life with a positive attitude, it just seems to magnify better health and better happiness. The next thing is that make sure that even though shit's happening, you're still grateful for the small things which make your life abundant in today's life. Remembering, even though the small things seem insignificant, may not be huge in your progression of health, they're still things, they're still small blessings. The third thing it says is be receptive, open your heart and mind to receiving all of these things that you deserve. That is supposed to be a part of generosity. And do something wonderful for someone every day, which I know you say you already do. So that's what I see, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, because you're right about one thing. Something somebody told me about I feel is the right way to go, and something I heard about a month ago, but the person didn't call me back when I called them. And that's one of the ways I have to go, and I think it'll solve everything.
All
Yeah.
right.
Thank you, and many blessings to both of
Bye-bye,
you.
and good
Many
luck. Let us
blessings.
know what
Bye-bye.
Bye,
happens.
Joe.
Take care. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Psychic radio, holistic radio, spiritual radio. This is AchieveRadio.com. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/AchieveRadio.
Hi, I'm Anne-Marie O'Dell at Achieve Radio's Tarot Joy. Come on upstairs. Grab yourself a tapestry pillow and get a down-home, honest reading with 30 years Master Tarot channeling experience. In addition,